Reacher, an absolute giant of a man. He's just come to Georgia for some peach pie, but he's rudely interrupted by being arrested. The Harvard-educated, tweed-wearing Detective Finley fills him in there was a murder late last night. Reacher is suspect number 1 because he's a mysterious drifter with no home address or possessions. But it's soon obvious Reacher's innocent. He's a retired war hero who just came to town because he loves blues music. In fact, Reacher almost solves the case immediately. He was a military investigator who's got Sherlock Holmes-like powers of deduction. The victim had a phone number in his pocket which leads him to this banker guy, and when he sees a mysterious car watching him, he confesses to the murder even though he obviously didn't do it. Now Reacher's not free till his alibi clears, so Finley forces him to help the investigation. He and the banker spend a night in jail where he hopes the banker will tell Reacher the truth. But whatever he's involved in is real serious, as some inmates were already hired to kill him. So Reacher gives them to the count of 3. 1, attacks immediately. That's his whole fighting strategy, never hesitate, strike first, strike hard, Cobra Kai. Now that Reacher's alibi cleared, he's picked up from jail by the hot cop Roscoe. He tells her about his wandering lifestyle. He's not a vagrant, he's a hobo, and he enjoys having no possessions. Whenever he needs to change his shirt, he just buys a new one. So Reacher's planning to mosey on until he learns he knows the victim. It is his brother, Joe. And now the case gets bigger when the chief of police is murdered, brutally nailed to the wall. Now they realize there's a vast conspiracy. All the other cops are probably dirty. Reacher's the only one they can trust. First off, banker guy disappeared. They gotta protect his family. So Finley calls in his FBI friend who babysits them for the season. Their top suspect is Mr. Kleiner, the rich guy in town who seems real good and is obviously bad, especially because his son, KJ, has been threatening Reacher, even though Reacher could crush his head with one hand. So they interview Kleiner but can't find anything. The only thing suspicious is all the cow feed he ordered. A hell of a lot of cow feed for not that many cows. So Reacher keeps investigating, which mostly entails beating people up. He starts hanging out with Officer Roscoe, who hooks him up with her uncle's gun, an absolutely massive Desert Eagle. When the bad guys break into her house, she and Reacher go hide in a motel where they start to fall in love, and pretty soon, get it on. But the case keeps getting more complex. What are professional Venezuelan hitmen doing in this small Georgia town? So Reacher gets help from his old friend Neely, who was in a special investigators unit back in the military. Now somehow related is the river pollution, and when a dirty cop captures him, Reacher and Neely get to see the river real close up, and now Reacher has to change his shirt again. Now Reacher's brother, Joe, worked for the Secret Service, and when they talk to his coworker/girlfriend, they learn he was investigating counterfeiting. She comes to town to give them the files, but no, the bad guys kill her too. In New York, Reacher talks to the counterfeiting expert who tells him it's the paper that you just can't fake. But the bad guys have goons here too, so Reacher kills this guy with his necktie, then has to change his shirt again. So it's starting to come together. Mr. Kleiner's running a vast counterfeiting network where they're shipping fake money down to Venezuela. But when Finley goes to his office to find evidence, so Mr. Kleiner was already killed. He wasn't the top dog. So Reacher lays a trap by telling one of the corrupt cops where he's gonna be. Then he goes into commando mode, so when the hit squad comes for him, Reacher's doing the hitting. But during the fight, Reacher got knocked into the pool, and now his notepaper is all faded. And that's the final puzzle piece. How are they getting the money paper? They're just using $1 bills, washing the ink off, then reprinting them as hundreds. And that's what all the cattle feed was for, using it to dry the paper. But the bad guys are one step ahead, because Finley's FBI friend was in on it the whole time. And it's Kleiner Jr. who killed his dad and took over the operation because he's a little psychopath. But they're not killing Reacher yet. They need his help to find the banker guy who they didn't kill. He's in hiding. But Reacher sneakily grabs a fork to pop the tire, then in the trunk grabs a gun and gets away. Then the time for subtlety's over as Reacher and friends attack the warehouse and go in guns blazing. In the final showdown with KJ, he's distracted monologuing about hunting a rhinoceros. So Reacher just grabs this punk, throws him in the fire, avenges his brother, and the day is saved. Now Reacher and Roscoe have fallen in love, but he can't stick around, he's gotta keep wandering. And she's like, yeah, I figured, this kinda seems like a James Bond thing where you have a new hot girlfriend every season. So Reacher finally gets his peach pie, then leaves town for his next adventure. And that's where Reacher Season 1 comes to an end. If you liked this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.